Dead meme.
Hey guys, we're back to check out some Horizon. I figured I would cover a little bit of crafting, just for individuals who are just getting started. There's a great deal of other things such as support synthesis, which occurs a little bit later, but I'm going to talk to individuals who are just looking to get started. So what I've done is I've decided to do some alchemy, and I'm rank 0 at this time. So when you're doing a craft, don't go above 5 levels. You will not gain crafting skill ups. So if we look at this beeswax, I need 3 beehive chips, a distilled water, and a fire crystal. And the result is beeswax. Now, if you are a high enough level, sometimes when you craft this, you'll get what's referred to as an HQ, and it will give you additional yield. So it's a bigger bang for your buck. But let's jump in to how we calculate whether or not to craft something. So we're at the auction house. We're just going to take a quick look at what everything costs, right? All right, so in beeswax, we require beehive chips. We need at least 3 of them. The price history on them, 1,000 for 12, so that's around 83 gil. Or you could buy them individually for 70. So that's a question of how much time do you want to spend doing that? And of course we need the crystal. Fire crystals, these guys seem to be a bit volatile in price. They're going to be roughly 83 gil as well, so we're going to round up to 84. So in order to craft this item, let's quickly calculate the cost. We're going to round up to 84 times 3, because there's 3 beehive chips, plus 84 plus 11, which is the cost of the distilled water. So for us to buy all of the items to craft this, it's going to cost us 347 gil. So now we need to decide whether or not it is worth it. And we do that by looking up the materials, alchemy, and beeswax. What is the price history on beeswax? So there is a slight profit on making beeswax. Let's look at what it goes if you were to... Oh, wow, if you sell 12, there's a really nice profit. So there is something that we need to discuss before we even begin crafting. There is a chance that you'll destroy the product and lose the crystal, some of the materials that have gone into it. So the exact cost will vary. So you're going to need to decide on the amount of risk that you're willing to spend or to pay. So I already own the fire crystals, so if I minus 263 is the cost for me to actually craft a beeswax. Now, lucky for me, I spent some time in Windhurst, and I actually own a whole bunch of beehive chips already. So all I need to do is buy some distilled water, which you can get from many vendors. So if you have the page open here and you right click on distilled water, there are various NPCs that are listed. Don't bother to try and craft this because the materials, here we are, merchants. Various merchants that sell distilled water. Your fame will determine its price. So there are many myths in Final Fantasy on Nusombi's server. At least I am of the opinion that the crafting myths were true. Face direction, the direction you're facing, and the time of day. But for the most part, let's just... I'm going to go over them because I don't know if they're true or not. People say they're not, and other people say they do. So let's just discuss it, and you'll make your own decision. So this is a crafting ring. Let's make it a little bit bigger. And this basically, the outer ring is the safe craft, safe quote unquote, with less likely to get a skill up but more likely to succeed. In the middle ring is the opposite, less likely to succeed but greater chance of gaining a skill up. So since I have 0 alchemy, there's a very high probability I'm going to break some of these. But the upside is I got most of the materials while adventuring, so the cost was only the distilled water, which is 10 gil each, very far from the end of the world. So I want to do a safe craft because I'm a little bit frugal. I don't mind if it takes a bit longer to skill up, as long as I'm making some money. So, according to this, if I face northwest, so how do I face northwest? Well, I can hit 5 in the numpad, and look at the bottom left corner compass. There we go. Alright, so now we select synthesis, we choose the crystal we're looking for, and you fill up some of these slots. So I need 3 beehive chips and a distilled water. So there's not much you could do here. Basically, there are other crafting myths about doing stuff with your camera, which I don't feel are legit at all. But basically, it's just a sit and wait game and see if you get it. There we go. A skill up and a lump of beeswax. And if you remember in the auction house, a single beeswax was selling for 450 gil. So after the transaction fee and all those other things, I'll probably be walking away with somewhere around 430-ish gil. And all I had to do was murder a few creatures to get crystals and some bees and buy 10 gil with the distilled water off a vendor. So one other thing to slightly more advanced. I have a crafting macro. So basically, last synth is a command that you could use to order your character to perform its synthesis again. So we'll just let it do its thing. Maybe we'll get to see a break or whatnot, and you can see that there is a risk reward. So you have to calculate that into your crafting as well, that you not only need to cover the cost. There you go. So I lost some of the things. You need to not only cover the cost of buying the material while succeeding, you need to have enough of a margin if you're looking to make money to cover potential breaks. And the likelihood of a break decreases as your craft level goes up. And that's why, as you can see, I am breaking like crazy, but I don't care because I got the materials for free. So that's just a tip. Try to get some of the materials without going to the auction house, because that would be just money down the toilet. And of course, try not to craft beyond 5 levels. So my way, this is a little bit more time intense. It takes more time to level this way rather than just throwing money at the problem. But it depends on you. Like, this is a decision you're going to have to make on whether or not you're willing to spend the money to level quicker and how much energy you're willing to put into collecting the resources required to reduce the cost. But hopefully you guys watching me lose money has been entertaining to you. And of course, if there's something in here that should be covered that I left out, throw it in there. Keep in mind, this is an introductory level to crafting. I don't want to make it too complicated for for the newer players. But if there's some sort of tip or important info, throw it down there. Let's get the community wealthy, you know, get them lots of money so they can buy our stuff. You know, sounds like a great plan. And of course, the sub and a like would be pretty cool. Talk to you all again later.